All right, happy engineer. Welcome back. Zach here. Good to be with you again. I've been getting a lot of questions from all of you, and so thank you for reaching out, for connecting, and for asking those questions. But there's a theme around one of the hard truths of what it takes to build an engineering career, what it takes to get that next promotion, to have a bigger impact and a bigger income, and all the things we want out of our careers. And the truth is this. Many of the things that it takes to succeed at the next level have nothing to do with being a great engineer. And it's really frustrating for so many, especially we work hard to get that bachelor's degree, that master's degree, that PhD. And when we don't get rewarded for that ability to create results on the technical challenges alone, that can be frustrating. And I'm not just talking about leading people. That's a whole nother category of expertise and skill development that we do need to master. I'm talking about those frustrating, annoying things that come with the territory of being in a company and delivering results. And at the top of that list for so many engineers is email. The dreaded inbox, the pursuit of the holy grail of inbox zero. Which I don't know about you, but I gave up on inbox zero a long time ago. It's not that important. But winning the war of the inbox is something extremely important for you as you move up in your career. Building great habits around how you manage email and how you use it as an asset rather than a liability in building your career is super important. So today let's talk about 5 really important strategies that you need to implement if you want to have mastery of the inbox to win the inbox war. At the top of the list, number 1, this is for me by far the most important shift and strategy you need to make when it comes to email, and it's this. Recognize that first in order is not first in importance. First in order is not first in importance. You see, an email inbox, regardless of what tool you use, if it's through Google, if it's through Outlook, if it's through Yahoo, I don't care. The inbox is nothing more than a sophisticated management system for other people's priorities. This is so key. Listen again. The inbox is nothing more than a sophisticated management system for other people's priorities. And most inboxes are organized by what? Time. The most recent email you've received is at the top of the list. Well, just the mental model of a list, when something is at the top, what do we associate that with? Our first priority, the number one thing to do, the first thing I need to pay attention to is at the top of the list, right? Isn't that what top of the list means? Well, that is not the case with email. Time is an arbitrary organizing metric. It's an arbitrary organizing hierarchy when it comes to your inbox. Just because you received an email recently does not make it your top priority. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. Choose your priorities before you go into your inbox. Maybe you're actually looking for a communication around a specific project. Then go look for emails associated with that project. Maybe you're waiting on an email from a key player on your team or from your boss. Great. Go to your inbox and search for emails from that project team or from that person. We need to reimagine the inbox and recognize that just because someone sent you an email does not make it your priority. Even if they're replying to a question you sent to them, that doesn't make it a priority. The thing that is most important for you to work on next is a question only you can answer, because only you have visibility to your entire to-do list and all the priorities on your plate. Your inbox has no idea what those priorities are as they shift and change and evolve moment to moment, day by day, week by week in your career. So stop working through the inbox top to bottom. Stop letting first in order become first in importance, and really get clear for yourself. What are my priorities while I'm in my inbox right now? and anything not associated with those priorities can wait. That is strategy number one, and it will change your world if you stop just opening the inbox and working it top to bottom or bottom to top or whatever you're doing as they come. You choose your priorities and go on the hunt for the emails you need to find first. Strategy number two, and this is one of the areas of our scorecard for how to accelerate your engineering career. It's a really simple strategy, and that's to send shorter emails to fewer people. Send shorter emails to fewer people. Half of the time you need to talk to the person anyway, and you're going to spend all this energy writing an email that they will then call you or question you about in the next meeting. So pay attention to that and just get on the phone if that's what needs to happen. And if something's really long for the sake of documentation, well, very few times is email the right place for us to document project decisions or project updates and key data on the project. So let's get smarter about using email as this kind of archive of important data. Yes, there are certain conversations we need to have a record of. Great. Be smart, be intentional. But send shorter emails. Here's the thing. Every single word you type and every single person that you add in that two-line, that CC or BCC line, multiplies the amount of energy and potential waste that you proliferate through the organization. Not only does it take you more time to create and proofread, and I know you're proofreading those emails 2, 3, 4 times a piece. You're not just writing it and sending it. I know that that's something we struggle with as engineers, over analyzing what we write. So not only are you multiplying the time for that, but then you're also multiplying time with somebody who has to read every word, understand it, and respond to it and make decisions. Shorter emails to fewer people. Do that and you will help the entire organization get better when it comes to email. Strategy 3, use filters and rules. Filters and rules. You've heard this before, but I want you to pay attention to the fact that a little bit of effort now will save you a lot of effort later. So set aside time and put filters and rules in place. You might tag specific senders who are high priority for you to pay attention to their emails, your boss, a project manager, a key person on the team you're collaborating with, a key client or customer. You might also tag projects, have folders and systems set up to categorize those emails by project so it's easy for you to find things. I'll share with you my absolute favorite filter, and it's one that a lot of engineers are nervous about implementing because they don't want to do the work to communicate this with their stakeholders, but it has been a game changer for me and the engineers who I coach. I call it the FYI filter, the for your information filter. And here's how it works. Every single email that is sent to me where my email address is in the CC or BCC, the carbon copy or blind carbon copy lines of that email. All of those are immediately marked red. They bypass my inbox and get loaded into a separate folder called FYI. For me, it's a simple rule because if the email was not important enough for me to be in the to line, if it's not for me, then that means it's just for my information. Somebody wanted me to be aware, which means it's not one of my priorities to respond. And if it is one of my priorities, then I will get that taken care of when it's time, when I actually set aside time to work on that priority. I'll go searching for those emails that are associated with whatever that topic is. So every single email that I'm CC or BCC on immediately goes into my FYI folder. And I only check that once in a while when I decide it's a priority. Now here's the catch, and I want to remind everybody of this. If you're going to implement any rule around your inbox, especially one like this FYI rule that I use, you need to let people know about the rules. Communicate. tell people with your mouth what your rules are. So if you're going to have that FYI rule, for example, you want to let all of your team members know, let your boss know, let the project manager know. This is the way that I operate with email. If you CC me, I'm going to assume that you do not need a reply from me. And I may not look at that email until later in the week or at all. So if it's something you need me to reply, make sure that you put my email address in the to line, not that CC or BCC line. Of course, you need to play within the rules of your organizational culture. That may not always work for everyone, but you can absolutely do it with your direct reports and your teams where you do have that authority and influence. I'll tell you what, I've got clients in every industry at all levels, and every single time people say, oh, I don't know if this will work for me, Zach. Everybody thinks they're a special snowflake. And here's the truth. 100% of them who have tried this have had great success with this, and it's been super helpful in minimizing how much time they waste in their inbox. Rule number 4, a great strategy. Fourth strategy, I want you to unsubscribe quickly and use that skip the inbox feature for anything that is not company business related. Now, here I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot, right? Because I would love for you to keep Owaco's emails in your inbox. But the truth is, put the burden on all of us out there who are sending you emails to create enough value in what we send to keep receiving it. If you're not getting value from it, then unsubscribe. It's okay, right? It's your inbox. Manage that. And if it is something that you want, if you love getting the Happy Engineer podcast emails, I hope you do. But maybe you don't always want to see it right as it's sent. I totally get that. So put those rules in place for emails from things like the Happy Engineer to pass through the inbox and go straight to a folder for your subscriptions or your newsletters or wherever you put all of the places or all the information that you get from places that are not related to doing your job. Simple thing to do, but unsubscribe and skip the inbox for anything not related to your project work. It's super helpful. So when you want to go listen or go find a newsletter, you can go searching for the thing you want. The whole energy here, again, is getting out of the head or the mindset of letting the inbox dictate where your energy goes and you dictate where your energy goes. Fifth and final strategy, really common one, but so many people lose the discipline around this, and that is to batch time and really get intentional about closing that email client, that tab or that tool where email is popping up and giving you notifications and dings. Close that when you are not doing email. Batch that time and get it off the screen when it's not time for email. Nothing is worse than being constantly distracted by inbox dings when you are seeking to do deep work. If you don't believe me, go back to one of our multitasking episodes. You can go all the way back to episode 3 with Dave Crenshaw. We've busted this myth. Multitasking is not a thing, and those distractions will hurt you. So be intentional to batch time. When are you going to work the inbox? When you're going to process all that inbound communication, and when you're not, close your email so you're not distracted. Pay attention to your mobile device as well. You're going to be grabbing that phone, picking it up, and when you see those emails, it wants to suck you in. So be really intentional and close those. These 5 things, simple strategies, they take minor incremental effort to install, and they have major benefits in the long run when you use them. So let's recap. Number 1, remember that first in order is not first in importance. Choose your email priority. Don't fall for the trap of thinking that just because it's unread means I need to pay attention to it. The inbox is a management system for other people's priorities. Don't let that derail you. Number 2, send shorter emails to fewer people. Number 3, use filters and rules to your advantage. Number 4, unsubscribe quickly and skip the inbox for anything not related to your work. Even better, for most of you, have a separate email entirely for all of that non-project, non-core work. And number 5, batch time, and really pay attention about creating separation by closing that email client when you're not working on it. Give yourself the gift of focus. Distraction is the enemy at work. Win the inbox war. These kinds of things seem so trivial. Seems like anybody ought to be able to win in this space. It shouldn't be a differentiator. But I'm telling you, if you can win back a few minutes a day, if you can win back your focus and your energy throughout the day, those little percentages really compound when you do it in every area of your career. And email is a big one that, frankly, nobody teaches us. And if you weren't lucky enough to have a great mentor who showed you all these things before, or hungry enough to go read the blogs and the articles or listen to other podcasts where it's talked about, you might be in one or more of these traps we talked about today. So get after it. Win the inbox war. I mentioned earlier that a couple of these tips do show up in our Engineering Career Accelerator Scorecard. If you haven't checked that out yet, go into the show notes and download a free copy. It's super helpful to give yourself a red, yellow, green on these different techniques and tactics to accelerate your career. And it covers all of these non-core things, the stuff that's not a part of your engineering degree that we all need to get right. I got somebody's score back they shared with me the other day. They only had 25 out of 49 things green. And I told them, hey, you may think that's bad, but frankly, that's pretty good. I know a lot of people who have a lot less and have work to do. So go check out that scorecard and give yourself the gift of focus on where you can accelerate your engineering career from here. Win the inbox war. Have fun. I'll see you next time. Let's do this.